Dave Ramsey's got a point. Actually, he's got a really good point. Debt is the enemy. It's the devil when it comes to real estate investing. Guys, it took me well over 5 years and $100,000 worth of expenses before I came to this very simple conclusion that debt is the enemy. Really, debt represents, in my mind, risk, and risk is the enemy to longevity. You can't have both because on a long enough time horizon, if there's any risk, then yes, you will lose it all. That's how risk works, guys. So if we want to be in the game longer, we got to minimize the risk. So we lower the chances that this risk kicks us out of the game, leaving us back in the poorhouse. I'm going to use a simple example to show you guys exactly how debt is the enemy, how it can sink a portfolio. I'm going to give you my examples on how I spent over $100,000 on my own properties. And at the very end, I'm going to share with you what my current loan to value is. That's a fancy way of saying how much debt do I have in my properties relative to their current worth. We're sharing that all with you today on your favorite investing channel, Investing in Bryan and College Station, Texas, where if you subscribe right now, I will share a video with you every single week about growing your wealth through real estate here in Aggie Land. Guys, stay tuned. This is going to be a good one, all about debt and why I'm a bigger fan of Dave Ramsey than I've ever been in the past. So let's jump in and talk about debt, leverage, and why Dave Ramsey has a really good point. Buying in cash is actually a really good idea. Let's use a case study. This is a $200,000 purchase. You can still get houses in Bryan and College Station for around $200,000. If you want help with that, give us a call, Schwartz Realty Group. We'd love to help you invest here in Bryan and College Station. Contact information is down in the description. But in this case, you're buying a $200,000 house. It appraised for $220,000. Boom, off the bat, you've got $20,000 in equity. That's a pretty good deal. And here in Bryan and College Station, the average appreciation per year is 4.96% since 1990. But let's round that up to 5% so I can do easy math. We're looking at $11,000 in appreciation per year, which means you've got $31,000 worth of value in year one and $11,000 every year after that. You can see how this would continue to compound and grow your wealth. Well, in this case, it's a single family house. It'll rent out for around $2,000 a month. All of your expenses, maintenance, vacancies, property tax, insurance, property management will be around $850 a month. And then of course, debt. Because we read the books, we learned that we can go to a bank and get 80% loan to value. It's the equivalent of saying 20% down, which would be $160K. I like that. And hey, if we have such a great deal, we can go to our aunt, our uncle, our grandfather, our coaches, our teachers, our best friends and say, hey, I've got this great deal. Would you like to be an investor? I could take on private money. Let's say they give me $30,000 or about 75% of my down payment. So now the bank's giving me $160, private money's giving me $30. That's $190, which means I'm only coming out of pocket $10,000 to buy a $200,000 house that is worth $220. Seems like a no-brainer. I at least doubled my money right off the bat. But we have to remember this comes with an expense. Your total expense between the bank and your private money is going to be about $1,250 per month. Simple math says that your total expense between your debt and your other expenses, $2,100 a month. So your negative cash flow, $100 a month. It's no big deal, guys. My cell phone bill is more than $100. My Costco membership is more than $100 a month. I don't care, guys. Not a big deal. I'll take on negative $100 a month all day long. We're gonna make 30. We're only investing 10K. This seems like a no-brainer. Let's go down to cash flow real quick. Again, without the debt, you're looking at negative $100 a month or negative roughly $1,200 a year. But without the debt, you're cash flowing positive $1,150 per month or $13,800 a year. That's pretty powerful stuff. And that is a much bigger number, 13,000 positive compared to 1,200 negative. Let's continue. Our ROI, also known as return on investment, with the debt means that we took $10,000, right? Because that's what we had to buy the house, it's $10,000, and we turned it into 30. 30 is going to be that 20 plus the 11 minus the roughly $1,000 in negative cash flow. That's a 300% return on your investment. That's why this stuff is so dang sexy, guys, is because you can have a 300% return on your investment. Without the debt, you have to pay the full $200K. Oh, it's a lot of money. It's gonna take a lot of savings to get there. And that's gonna result in a $46,300 return. That's gonna be the 20 plus the 11 plus the 13.8. That comes out to a 23% return on your investment. Still beating the snot out of the S&P 500, but man, am I jealous of that guy who has a 300% return on his investment until the inevitable happens. And this is what I learned through my own experiences, guys. I've owned real estate for 8 years now, and over the last 5 years, I've spent over $100,000 on unplanned expenses. Roofs, ACs, water heaters, sewer lines, and most recently, a set of metal stairs that cost me $36,000. One expense, 1 month, one check, $36,000. Now, the truth is, in this scenario, you probably aren't going to have $100K worth of expenses, but it's very realistic to think I might have to face a new roof and a new AC in 1 year. Roofs are somewhere around $8,000, ACs $7,000 to $8,000. Let's call it $15,000 worth of unplanned expenses in 1 year. This is a very realistic situation you could be facing. Well, if you are Mr. Hey, high leverage, you have no cash flow to cover that, and your maintenance is probably right around $150,000 to $200,000 in terms of your maintenance budget. So you might have $2,400 over the year to cover your $15,000 expense. You're just like a 10x short on what you need. You're a simple $12K short of what is required to fix your property for your tenants. And you have to fix it. Roofs and ACs, these are emergency items. You've got to do it, Mr. Landlord. You've got no money, so where do you come up with another $12K? Well, you either have to go back to the bank or you have to sell the dang property, is usually what we see. And if you take on more debt, that's less cash flow. That means the next time something like this happens, you're going to be even further in a hole. This is that downward spiral we do not want to face, particularly as we're growing our portfolio. If you own 10, 15, 20 units, this can create a domino effect, toppling your little empire. But if we don't have debt, we now have $13,800 of cash flow plus $2,400 in maintenance. Guys, we've got well over $15K. We can cover the roof and the AC, no sweat. In one situation, you start a downward spiral that could result in losing an entire portfolio. In the other situation, you simply break even. I'd much rather break even than lose my portfolio. And guys, the point is this is a long game, because $46,000 or $30,000, that's not going to make you rich. No one says, I don't know, 46,000 an heir or whatever that would be, right? You want to be a millionaire. But it takes time on compounding these things and buying more and more houses. But one simple screw up, one downward spiral can result in losing everything, and then you got to start from scratch. Well, I'd much rather continue growing my wealth than have to start back over from scratch. Right now in my own portfolio, we're not perfect. We still have debt, but we take on debt with the realization of the risk that it incurs. So my current ratio of the debt to the value of my properties, that's called loan to value, LTV, is 60%. So I've got 40% equity across my entire portfolio. That means two things. That means one, that if I have to sell a property, I will get money. I've got equity stored up. So if I have to sell off one property, I can make enough money to take care of any situation if I had to. But even better, because my debt is relatively low, my cash flow is relatively strong. And that's how in all of these instances, over 5 years, with $100,000 of total unplanned expenses, I did not have to come out of pocket once. I never was in a situation having to scramble to find $12,000. I never had to go back to a bank and ask for more money. I never had to go to a partner and ask for more money, or a private money lender and ask for more money. I was always able to cover expenses out of pocket because we were smart with our debt. I hope that you're smart with your debt too. I hope this video provided you value. I hope you've already gone down below, hit that like button. I hope you're subscribing, because every single week I will bring you a new video, and my only request is until next week, when I drop that video, helping you grow your wealth through real estate here in Bryan and College Station. My only request is that you take it easy.